Hey everybody, Raymond's on the show. Hey!
Woohoo! Yay!
We are joined today with the special guest, Raymond Smith of Raymond Smith on YouTube. He does some fantastic movie reviews. Definitely go and check him out at some point. Ray, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm pretty great. I do fantastic reviews of not so fantastic movies.
Absolutely. I think that's the best way to sum it up, really. Fantastic reviews of less than stellar pictures. What was the one you did quite recently? Was it Dream Demons?
Yeah, Dream Demon, yeah. A woman starts having dreams of demons, and then they start coming alive and try to kill some goth chick that used to live in the house. Just insanity.
Always good to have films like that on the roster.
Some like tabloid photographer gets killed by the demons, and then at the end he just randomly comes back to life and says he's hungry for a fry-up, whatever the fuck that is.
Oh yes, and also we've got
I love that. But Dan, famous YouTube reviewer Raymond, also does film review. So now let's watch the film.
Well, they all know you.
They all know me. Yeah. Oh, he's here again.
You should see the comment sections underneath some of these Comedy Dining Experience episodes. It's just like, we want more Ben. What's his Twitter account?
Scumbag.
I want an autograph. I want to touch his hair.
Well, my Twitter account is Raymond H. Smith because Raymond Smith was already taken by some guy that uses his account to yell at Home Depot.
We used to know a guy with Raymond Smith in his name. That might be the same.
It might well be, yes. He
hasn't used Twitter in like a year, but if you look at his Twitter, every single thing is just yelling at various big organizations for canceling sales that he liked.
Maybe Home Depot finally got back to him. That's why he calmed down.
Mr. Raymond Smith, please stop. Please stop. Coupons were not enough, clearly.
We will give you free drywall if you stop contacting them.
Please find enclosed your £1 of cement. So we got the game together, and today we are going to be watching a classic family movie. It's billed as a family movie, but on the VHS box for it, it actually says it's an action-adventure movie, but I'll let you guys be the judge of whether that is actually the case. I personally think it's a load of malarkey, but neither here nor there. Yeah, it's basically, it's a film that doesn't really know what it wants to be, so it tries to be everything and add everything. We're watching Robot in the Family, in the UK known as A Robot Called Goldigger.
So we sound like the same movie.
Oh, definitely. Well, it's because
They're consistent with the shitness of both titles.
Yeah. So you're joining us on the Comedy Dining Experience After Dark.
It might be after dark for you guys. It's 3:00 in the fucking afternoon.
Really? It's like 8:00 at night over here. It's not bedtime.
Time here. Yeah. Everyone must go to bed now.
With the damn quarantine, you can just sleep anytime you want. There's nowhere to freaking go.
The last thing you want to do is be grabbed by the Rozzers.
God.
I didn't read much about it, but apparently some crazy person in America didn't want people to leave his town. So he cut down a tree and dragged it in front of the town entrance so people couldn't leave.
That is some full-blown Wicker Man stuff right there.
That sounds fantastic. I have total sympathy.
The headline just says armed gunmen block road, and it doesn't give any details of who or what.
Right, so we have set this up so that it is on the black screen just before it fades up to a temple where two religious figures are praying in front of a helmet. So if you've got a copy of this film, I don't know how you've got a copy of this film, but if you have got a copy of this film, that's where you need to queue it up in order to enjoy all of our wacky comedy hijinks going forward.
Everyone get your VCRs ready, which I'm sure they will.
And don't worry, I'll find a way to fuck this up and you'll get a second chance in about 2 minutes.
Right, so we're all queued up. We are all good to go. And I'm going to hit play on Robot in the Family in 3, 2, 1, go.
Ah!
Hey! This isn't half bad.
It appears to be working.
Well, hey, I'm chalking this down as a big success for the ginger guy.
This ain't a bad movie at all. It's atmospheric. Deep.
Yeah.
I think you're wrong, Dan. I think this is going to be really, really good.
You just wait until that sweet kick-ass theme tune kicks in.
Oh no, someone stole an ancient relic.
Here we go again. That title screen, though.
I could do better than that. With like MS Paint. I have done better than that.
I mean, it's hardly Indiana Jones, is it?
We got Joey Pants in this movie.
Yeah. Best known for The Matrix. And the volume's all right for you guys as well, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I've got mine quite low, so not to fuck up the thing.
Cool. As long as I know. Just didn't want to be blasting you out or anything.
Don't blast me out.
Don't harsh my groove, man.
She's got the right stuff.
This is the best part of the film, by the way. So call this in. It literally doesn't look any better than
The title.
Yeah. They really went to town on the opening title.
The best part of the film is when we go, "Hey, look, Jane Collins."
Oh wow! I can't wait to see what David Schumann's up to these days as Bono and Clyde.
Bono and Clyde, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Can you guess what roles they're going to play?
I'm already confused just by the intro. None of these look like real robot parts.
Yeah, they just took elements of like an old carburetor or something and just filmed and put like a couple of dials on. A lot of flashing lights. I hope nobody's epileptic, by the way.
Probably shit, I am.
For that.
Oh no.
If you weren't, you will be by the end of the movie.
Did he enjoy it?
Oh. So welcome everybody.
What year was this? When was this made?
This was made in... Yeah, you're asking the questions now. We don't prepare for these things, Ben. How do it?
You don't do extensive research?
Let me have a look. This is the joy, actually, of doing this.
What in the blue hell is that?
That is our hero for the film.
You've never seen a Disco C-3PO before?
I have not.
It looks like somebody. It does look like somebody steampunked C-3PO, basically. Robot in the Family came out in 1993.
Right, so this was after John Rhys Davies was in Living Daylight.
Yes, and also after he was in Cyborg Cop.
Yes, yes. Was Sliders after this?
I was about to say, would he have been in Sliders at this point?
Yes, he probably would have been in Sliders as well around about this time. But we were having a brief conversation before. Well, I say before the commentary started. We started recording before we did the intro, and we were talking about this. But basically,
sorry, go on.
Basically, the reason why this film exists is the writer and director wasn't a filmmaker traditionally. He was an antiques dealer, and he had a rival antiques dealer person who he didn't like. So he made a film where he basically made the other, about two antiques dealers, where he made the other antiques dealer look like a jerk, just so they could kind of point at the film and go, haha, see, it's like you. That's literally why
And he forced him to watch this movie as punishment?
Pretty much.
Strapped him to a chair, clockwork orange style, and made him watch that shit over and over.
That's why I used to like those. Spite. It's a very good motivated force.
Oh yeah, spite will get you far. What, you don't get anything done by just being naughty.
The only interesting thing I have to say is that the DOP is called Blaine Brown. That's like two magicians.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Together, isn't it?
Yeah.
So he made the magic by turning the camera on.
Another thing, the robot that's the titular character in this film wasn't in this film originally. Originally, it was an action-adventure film about two antique dealers having a...
just called In the Family.
But the
And it's
producers,
got a robot.
the people who were funding the film basically turned around and said, if you make it a kid's film, you'll make more money. So he hastily wrote a robot into the plot.
Hastily built it, hastily cast it, hastily filmed it, hastily edited it, and then it hastily was...
Pretty much.
Reminds me of the movie Prom Night 2. Technically, Hello, Mary Lou, Prom Night 2. They halfway through filming, they just said, hey, this movie has boobs now, so we're going to hire a director who knows how to shoot boobs. And just the second half of the movie is entirely different than the first half.
To be fair, that command, put boobs in it, makes more sense than put a robot in it.
Yeah.
You know what would make this film?
Well, not for a family film. The robot makes more sense for a family film.
Ben-Hur would
be
greatly improved by robot.
You know what would make this film make even more money? Robots with boobs.
That scalp massage robot had a sexy voice.
It certainly did. I wonder if it has boobs.
This is a family film, you sick man. Little kids watching this. namely.
We have freaking Italian Gallagher there running around.
Oh, it's the Poundland version of the old man from RoboCop.
Just been left in the sun a bit too long, by the looks of it.
He's gone a little bit raisiny, but it's okay.
He's probably dead now.
I told you we should have watched that Peter Weller, speaking of RoboCop, but
he's dead.
There's this crazy Peter Weller movie called Of Unknown Origin where he fights a giant rat for an hour and a half.
And I did watch the trailer for it last night, and the trailer sold me on it enough that it's in my wish list now.
I wish Peter Weller would go back to making bizarre movies and not making KFC adverts.
Yeah. But they pay good. That's the sad reality. They pay good money.
Oh,
that chicken money is...
This film makes me think of death. But then again, most things...
I am drinking knockoff Jägermeister at the minute. Ray, you're on.
Mm-hmm.
What brand?
Bush Ice. 6.9% alcohol. Good.
That'll keep the germs at bay, most definitely.
Yeah, mostly pickled. I'm not worried.
Because I don't
Me and my roommate both bought soda yesterday, so I got Coke Zero Cherry.
Ooh, good choice. Good choice.
Even the quality of the film makes me think of just like the shit, the VHS quality. It just looks like it's from a forgotten age.
So far, all this film has said to me is, do you remember when you lost your passion for this job?
See that guy in the background? He really knows how everyone in this film, it can be described as frizzy.
Yes.
He's got a very, very frizzy hair. Uh-oh.
This is a very...
I wonder how many people in this movie are dead now.
All of them.
Ooh, that is a...
Including
it was like that John Wayne film that they filmed out in the radioactive desert.
That Genghis Khan movie.
Yeah. Anyone who got near the robot is now dead.
You ever do this? When I watch black and white films from back in the day, and there's like dogs in them or animals, I can't help thinking those animals have been dead for so many years.
I've started to go that. But in the last couple of years, I have started to feel like, that dog was
I did that too. I watched that movie where the dog fights this giant alien creature and it barely lives. I'm like, yay, the dog lived. Like, oh wait, this movie's from 1982. That dog's been dead for 20 years.
It's dog in the way.
I mean, there's a very slim chance it's still alive.
It was like a pit bull. I don't think he's gonna make it very.
Oh God!
You ever see Bicentennial?
Oh no!
This is like they saw this. This Bicentennial man completely. I think we should sue Robin from Beyond the Grave.
I'm sure we'll get those reactions are genuine.
I was about to say, I don't know who plays the wife, but she had the exact correct reaction to that monstrosity.
You see, I think it could have just about worked if they hadn't given it the voice of Jerry Lewis.
Damn, because I don't think this will really help matters, but considering, because I can only half hear the dialogue, can you clue me in on the plot of why exactly he's built scary Bicentennial man death machine?
So, okay. So
can you turn the volume up just a tad? Yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah, sure. No, not a problem. That okay?
I'm quite happy.
Yeah.
I'm quite happy to enjoy this series of music.
So the plot basically of this film, he is an antique dealer, but he's also a crackpot inventor, and he makes really strange and rubbish inventions, and nobody likes him.
I thought he's a crack pipe inventor.
Yes, he invented great crack pipes.
His funds are crack pipe dealing and see-through.
But he invents stuff in it.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. He invents spare things, like crazy inventions in his spare time. And he wanted to invent a robot that could find gold because his family is incredibly poor and they want to find a fortune to make them rich so they can pay off their debt to the bank because they owe the bank something like $50 million. I don't know how an antiques dealer racks up $50 million of debt, but that's how it works. Clearly. So he built Goldigger, which is that robot there. It has three functions. One is to find gold as soon as possible. One is to, if you scream at it, it will call the police, but he's screwed up the dial-up, so it just calls random numbers when you scream at it. So like if you scream at it, yeah.
So a guy who's $50 million in debt had the funds to create AR?
Apparently so. He's very
clever. The last scene he was calling people for fun.
Yes. He was like, I want $25 million that you owe me. What do you mean that he owes you $25 million? He owes me $25 million.
He needs it for Christmas tree lights to put on his weird gay robot.
This robot has a fourth secret function of terrifying children.
Yeah, that reaction again is very genuine, I can assure you.
They are terrified that this thing is going to blow up at any second.
It's going to blow up. It looks like it's just going to be stable.
It's 50%. It's 50% Lego bricks, 40% electric live cables, 30% radiation. I don't know how the percentages add up. I'm just telling.
And 10% some asshole in a bodysuit that had nothing to do that week.
Oh, correction. Multiple assholes in a bodysuit. That suit was so stiff and rigid, it basically cut into their skin and in some cases caused them to actually leave the film completely due to severe injury. Yeah.
You saw this video of multiple assholes in a bodysuit.
Sold. That'll be in the description. We'll make that happen.
So, did you guys hear about this dumbass in Australia?
No.
He claims that he's a 27-year-old astrophysicist. And he had a device that detects magnetic fields. So you wear a bracelet and you wear a necklace, and when they get close to each other, it beeps.
Right.
Which would be a brilliant idea, except for the device he had actually detected the lack of magnetic field. So it only went off when you touched your face.
God. It's like the everything is okay alarm from The Simpsons. It beeps every 30 seconds continuous. to let you know everything's fine until it's not.
Yeah. And since it was such a big failure, he took the magnets and started playing with them and put one on the inside of his nose and one on the outside of his nose. So he tried, and they were so strong, he tried to pull one of the magnets off from the outside. The other magnet went up his nose. So he used the other magnet to try to pull it out. And you can see where this went. He went to the ER with 4 magnets stuck up his nose.
We can magnets fix every problem. We should have known this by
like
now.
a research fellow at the University of Melbourne and claims to be an astrophysicist, and he's getting magnets pulled out of his...
Well, you got to have a day job, you know.
Yeah. As soon as you said crackpot inventor, I remember that story I read yesterday.
So, yes, so the whole point of Goldigger as a robot is to find gold to make family rich so that they can pay off the bank, and then he can go back to inventing more crazy robot bollocks. I don't know what his end goal is, really, apart from not be poor.
Isn't that everyone's end goal?
Well, yeah.
That's my end goal.
That's one we're all working on, but for some reason they thought it was worth making a movie out of.
Oh, this is Bono like Was this originally a heartfelt family drama before the robot came?
Basically, seriously, I'm not even joking. Apparently, this film was like a slightly serious action adventure film where that inventor and the other antique stealer played by John Rhys Davies were like seriously contending against each other. It was only when the producers went, "You'll make more money if you make it a kids," that suddenly the Borat accents and the funny robot came in.
I like to think they literally just walked in the room and they had the picture of the robot and they said nothing and just walked out.
And here's off
the picture, and they knew what to do.
If I get a computer working again soon, I'm going to have to make a cut of this with all the bullshit out like I did for that fucking Buzzard movie.
Oh, yeah. I did a review for a film called Charlie and the Talking Buzzard, and Ray recut it, removing all of the stupid talking buzzard bits, and it was literally just 16 minutes of a boy walking through the Australian outback.
I'd quite like to do the opposite. I'd like to take other films and intercut them with all the robot scenes from this film to improve. So, yeah. For example,
it had this weird plot about people trying to burn down a city or something. I don't know. They're trying to build a factory, trying to get a factory built in town, so they're causing crimes so people sell the town to the factory or something. So I just cut out everything. They play football for 20 minutes. I cut all turned it into a nice, slick, like 8-minute film.
But as the rumors show, people love watching people playing football,
especially if it's elongated scenes with no cuts.
I think something wacky's going to happen. Careful.
Oh yeah, he also has the ability to tame people, but he calls it tickling.
I have a bad feeling about this guy. I think something zany's going to happen. Oh.
Why would I go? No.
Oh, God.
Hey,
get fire away from that suit.
Hey, you know in 1925 when Fritz Lang made Metropolis and he depicted the first robot on screen, do you think this is the kind of thing?
Absolutely. I think this was his end goal. I think Fritz Lang would have been very, very proud of that Metropolis.
Do you think he thought in his crazy German mind, he was like, this is what will happen? And he had a premonition and it all flashed before his eyes. And it just intercut with this scene of what
it was literally this
yeah.
Fun fact, the robot suit was 90% asbestos.
that is fun. Well, it was fun.
Well, if not, the damn thing would have just caught on fire.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Okay, I gotta go get rid of some of this beer the old-fashioned way. I'll be right back.
No trouble.
Watch without me.
You'll miss out.
So what's happening now?
So
I don't mean it. I don't mean the film. I'm asking in my lifetime. What's happening?
We're
What's
all
going on?
doing a commentary on the comedy dining experience for the film Robot in the Family, which I got the last copy of it on Amazon. They don't have
feel like-
stock anymore. This was the last tape, and I have it.
I feel like Father Jack when he's sobered. Don't tell me I'm still on that island. So they trapped a man in a sewer. He'll be fallen to his death out.
So here's the skinny Ben. Let me fill you in with the lowdown of this flip flop. He parked his car.
Dan thinks he's cool because he's using American slang.
I'm gonna talk to the kids here. I'm just letting me roll up my sleeves.
This channel's going transatlantic.
We've become franchised. We're now sponsored by Subway. Eat fresh. So basically, he went to work at his antique shop, but he illegally parked his solar-powered robot car. And a traffic warden was going to ticket him. But luckily, Goldigger, the gold-seeking robot, found the traffic attendant, who he refers to the antiques dealer as his daddy, stole the ticket book off the traffic attendant and burnt it so he wouldn't get a ticket, and then pushed his car out of the illegal parking zone. However, the antiques dealer's co-worker thought that he was having his car stolen, ran after it, fell down a manhole, got covered in literal shit, and now...
and then the
I'm back. What the fuck?
You chose a good moment to get back, Ray.
I see him. Everyone's covered in shit on top of a Texans limo.
So we've missed like 30 plot points. Film moves that fast.
So worst role, being in a god-awful robot suit or being this poor guy covered in shit on the hood of the limo?
I don't know. I mean, would I rather be baked alive? Because this film was filmed in the summer in the city. So that's...
Even fake shit, that's gotta suck.
I'd probably be the guy covered in shit, because if you're in the robot suit, there's a risk of actual literal...
True.
Whereas being covered in fake shit, the worst thing that will happen is you're sort of slightly delicious, because I'm assuming it's probably chocolate-based.
Well,
or
you assume, but you don't know.
I mean, paint's delicious, so I'm not really...
This is guerrilla filmmaking at its finest. The director wanted everything to be real, authentic. Use real shit. Put this shit on him now. Whoa.
This is actually a long-lost Louis Theroux documentary.
Long-lost scat porn.
Oh, God.
This guy, he wants gold. This guy came and gave him gold, and he's like, nah, no thanks.
He can't afford to buy the gold statue off him because he wanted more than was going. Also, the
Oh, look! the gold statue is worth $18.5 million. They just saw it in the paper.
We really need the Jaws theme in the background of that shot, just where Goldigger was walking blurred in the background toward...
So did Kanye West see this film and thought, I know what my biggest single is going
to... That line, "Get that walking Christmas tree out of here," wasn't actually a line. John Rhys Davis just said that. And
to be fair, he says that to everybody, though, not just the robot.
Oh, yeah.
I did look it up. Sliders didn't start till 95, so he wasn't in Sliders yet.
He has yet to make his big break.
Yeah. Sliders was made in response to...
Yes.
It was John Rhys Davies trying to find another dimension where they've never heard of this movie.
The producers of Sliders were watching this one night and they turned to each other and went, "There's got to be another."
Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah, fun thing to bear in mind as well, John Rhys Davies only sells fake antiques. He sells forgeries and he makes lots of money off it, but he pretends that they're real. And a lot of the in-jokes in this movie are Goldigger pointing to his antiques and going, "That isn't gold," and him going, "Oh, these robots, they're crazy, get him out of..." And that's literally, that's the film. Well, apart from the film itself being a joke.
This reminds me of those like cash for gold shops.
Oh, yeah. Like pawn shops.
I think they sold bits of that robot in those shops, like on Fenton High.
I would love to think that you could go and buy a part of the robot from Robot and the Family.
You can buy.
I would personally like the help.
It's in After.
Oh, fantastic! Only $6.99.
If I stand at the end of my driveway here, I can see 2 Cash for Gold spots in a thrift shop. There might be parts of him in there somewhere.
It's all connected.
I mean, you
I
could always
live in a
go.com.
tiny little tourist town, so there is Cash for Gold everywhere for people that came down here, didn't have enough money for their vacation to get back home.
Oh,
They have to build robots to earn the money to go back home.
oh God! Can you imagine going in a Cash for Gold and having to deal with one of them? Hello, my friend. What have you bought, my friend? Oh, gold, my friend. Great. I'll give you a good price. Daddy, where is the gold? I am looking.
It was so nice for you to bless us with your real speak.
Thank you.
Normally you put on a accent.
Yeah, when I am doing my normal robot voice, which is actually my own voice. It's what it sounds like. He sounds like
If
that. That is the robot.
walked in and heard that, you just listen, I'll walk home.
I'm done. You know what? Maybe it's not too bad living here from now on.
By the way, Ben, if he didn't tell you, I'm in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. I'm just south of Myrtle Beach.
I'm one of those cliche tourists who's only ever been to Orlando when I've been to America.
Yeah, my brother lives about an hour north of Orlando. They have Disney tickets and go like 30 times.
I was going to say Ben's partner is a Disney girl, isn't he? So I think she'd bite your arm off for some passes down.
Yeah.
Do you think Disney would like to acquire the rights to this? I mean, they're buying everything else. They might want to invest in this. You might be able to see it on Disney. You never know.
It still,
but don't restore it in any way. Just keep it in the same.
Kids, we just got Disney Plus. What film do you want to watch tonight? Robot in the Fat.
Robot.
Parking meter.
Shit. No, the other Italian guy.
Ray, are you watching Solo again?
Yes.
What? I'm sorry. I blinked and.
I was going to say,
Yeah, go ahead.
if you your suggestion.
To match the robotic performances.
Ben just won the quip of the commentary so far. That was
you can watch Splash. You can watch Never and Kiss.
Oh, kids love
All
Splash.
sorts of good. Kids love Splash.
They love Tom Hanks and the Mermaid.
I personally hope we finally put the funding towards Mac and Me too, but that's
Paul Rudd will be in it.
oh yeah.
You have to kickstart that one. I think. McDonald's
Do you
will probably
guys know about that whole Paul Rudd joke with Mac and me?
Oh, on Conan.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know that one. It's a pretty neat one. Basically, every time he turns up on Conan, they use the clip from Mac and Me where the wheelchair goes off the cliff, and it'll be to promote any film. So he'll come on and it'll be like,
He says, he's like, I came to promote my new film. Do you want to see a clip? And Conan's always like, no. Like, here's the clip. And it's the little kid just flying out the cliff.
You know, in many ways, I'd rather watch Mac and Me at the minute.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, I stopped watching this a while ago. I've zoned out.
Yeah, we'll get back into it. That's normally how these commentaries work. You're doing fine so far.
Why do you think I'm drinking Coke Zero? It's because I've been brainwashed by Mac and Me. You watch it, but then you have no memory of watching it. So every time you watch it's like the first time. Like a hypnotic suggestion.
I'll say this.
I was about to say subliminal messaging. Why do I want a Coke and a Big Mac? I don't even like McDonald's.
And then you look at the DVD menu and go, "Ooh, what's this Mac and Me? Let's watch this. This looks fun." And the cycle continues, isn't it?
And the beat goes on, and the beat goes on, and the beat goes on, and the beat goes on. I saw something terrifying the other day. So obviously we're all in lockdown at the minute. This won't be out until probably the summertime. So if you're out of quarantine by then, well, hey, chaps.
We'll be dead by then.
Probably.
You'll be dedicated to our memory.
Yeah. Does that mean that the commentary is going to end with Celine Dion again?
That's how you end all your videos, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. Nobody's ever made it to the end, so, you know.
With the full interrupted song "Think Twice" by Celine Dion.
Yes. Or,
what the hell is going on now? Why? I mean, this guy is in a full body kiss licking his arm. I don't know what the hell is going on.
Okay, so the statue that he saw in the paper that was worth $18.5 million was taken away and was taken to a different antique dealer. A load of stuff happened there. Then he found out that there was a helmet that was the one that was stolen at the beginning of the film that's worth like $50 million. He then finds out that this helmet is near this doctor's office, so he goes just to check it out to see what's going on. The problem is, that doctor has a fetish for helmets, and his receptionist has a fetish for feet in plaster casts. And he is a specialist in setting plaster casts. So the joke is you get to watch a load of people in funny plaster casts trying to do things and failing miserably.
So they were told to make the film for kids, and yet they put all this weird fetish shit in it.
Yes.
Okay.
All of this makes sense to me. Is that weird? Or have I been quarantined for too long?
The thing is, especially between yourself and myself, Ray,
when you've been quarantined for too long, we're just looking at a blank screen right now. Collectively hallucinating.
The thing is, none of us are actually talking to each other. We're all just sat in the corner of our respective rooms, whispering into a can of peaches. No, sorry. The terrifying thing that I saw. So obviously everything is in lockdown, and I was driving to a gas station, petrol station, to go and top up my car because it was running low, and I drove past a McDonald's that was a 24-hour one. And it's so creepy to drive past 24-hour McDonald's when they're all just closed. When all the lights are off, there are no security guards, all the lights are down, nothing. It's proper weird because, like I say, you're used to it being on. So when you're just driving past and you go to a bit where you think there should be light and it's just darkness, and you look over and it's just all in pitch black.
Is this the real reason why you want to make Mac and Me?
Yes. I just want to get McDonald's back open. I need my McChicken Legend.
You're like that guy in Super Sized Me who eats a Big Mac every day. Wonder how he's doing, if he's still alive.
He made a sequel. It's on Netflix. Or maybe Amazon Prime. I don't remember which.
Really?
It was a Super Size Me 2.
Super Size Me.
Soundtrack by DeBarge.
Could it just be called Super Size Me brackets again, close bracket?
I don't know what he'd get out of a sequel, though, because if he's eating the same food every time again for 30 days...
He just liked it the first time. I'll do it again. Fuck it.
Let's see. While we're talking here, I got my TV up so I can figure it out what the hell it was about.
It looks like one of those pachinko machines you get in Japan.
Yeah.
Well, there's loads of buttons that don't seem to do anything, and it looks very gaudy.
Oh, it's about chicken places.
Ah.
It's Super Size Me 2 Holy Chicken.
Holy chicken.
Oh, sorry, there's an exclamation point. Holy chicken!
That was the best title they came up with.
It's actually a documentary about religious films. He's going in hunt of the Holy Chicken.
I thought that was a J. Maher movie.
Yeah.
Or Bill Maher, possibly. Bill Maher went around and just yelled at people for being religious for like 4 hours.
I've seen that. That's a very good description. He just yells at people for 2 hours.
It's like, why do you believe in Allah? It's like, because if I don't and I die, I go to hell. Like, good point. Still, he said, do I get to go if I die? Like, probably not, because you're an asshole, Bill.
I remember that film had one quite funny clip where he was like talking to some senator or whatever, saying some like debunking religious stuff, and the senator said something like, well, you don't have to pass an IQ test to be in the Senate. And then the camera just hangs on him for about 2 minutes while he realizes what he's just said. He has a beautifully timed comedy moment.
Oh, John Royce Davies fighting a rat. Here we go.
Kill him. Kill the child.
I say we watch Of Unknown Origin after this, but I was outvoted.
There's always next week. We can always get it together next week. I mean, like I say, we've got nowhere to go. We've got nothing to do. We can do a commentary every night.
Were any rats harmed in the making of this?
Yes. The rat scene was, they took a Kubrick approach. The rat scene took 126 takes. They killed a small mousery.
So, Dan, what's happening there?
A woman is caressing a foot in a plastic cast.
Well, of course.
And she appears to be in some state of arousal.
It's better than the movie Pin, where the nurse bangs an anatomical dummy.
I'm going to have to look this film up.
Do you want to make the Quentin Tarantino joke? Or?
PIN, it's called. There's a podcast called Predictocast that has reviewed the movie and the book and the play like 3 times. They just keep going back to this damn movie.
A Canadian horror film.
It's fantastic. It's based on a book. Flowers in the Attic?
Yes.
Okay, so the author of that was this woman, and when she died, some guy took over for her, and he's written like 20 books under her name. And one of them is Pin, about this kid who thinks the anatomical dummy is real and alive because his dad used to do ventriloquism to teach him about sex using the dummy. And it's Mr. Pin, and in the book, he watches his sister bang the dummy, but in the movie, he's hiding in his dad's office, and the nurse comes and steals the dummy and starts banging it.
Man, that dummy has got some serious charisma.
Yeah.
You know David Byrne from Talking Head? Well, if David Byrne robbed a bank and he had to put a fake mustache and fake wig on, he'd look a bit like the main character in this.
Like Joey Pants.
I could see it.
David Byrne had to cross the border, and they were like, "Hey, aren't you the bloke from Talking Heads?" And it's like, I don't know who is David Byrne, and that could be a good film in itself. Let's make that. We'll get the real David Byrne.
I do not.
Just wait until Brexit passes and follow him around. He'll do it for real.
I don't know who this David Byrne is, award-winning musician who worked with the band Talking Head. Never heard of him.
He has to like get over the border, and then there's all these guys chasing him. You could set it to Road to Nowhere. It'd be great.
Eventually, later in the film, they'll just get paranoid that no one recognizes him and be like, "Hey, don't you think I look like David Byrne? Like, who's that? He's the award-winning musician. He's very good. Would you like to meet him?" No, that's fine. Please meet me.
You sure? Oh, look, I dropped my 2 tickets to the Talking Heads Live. Sadly, I'm only one person and cannot use these 2 tickets just for myself. If there was somebody here who could come with me. They're VIP as well.
Just David Byrne chasing people around trying to give away Talking Head tickets.
Directed by David Lynch.
I think we have a hit on our hands, boys.
We'll get the fundraisers in. I hear the people who funded Robot in the Family are very interested.
I've already spoke to him now. Got a free picture deal.
Free picture deal. The only problem is they want to make it more kid friendly, so they've suggested putting a robot.
This film is very. I know I said this before. This film is very like fetish. It's very kinky.
Why does this guy still have a fucking cast on?
It's like feature. There's a scene with a load of sweaty blokes in the sauna. It's very kinky.
It is.
I mean, I kind of approve.
And unlike Eastern Promises, you don't even get to see dicks. So I don't know.
Oh, look! Now we've got this. It's even kinkier.
Why? Okay. Why was he wearing a cast in the first place? Why is that woman sexually aroused by cast? Why is John Rhys Davies still trying to kill rats? And why are men in wigs? I do not understand any of this.
The problem is, and I swear to God this is true, Ray, if you watched this film without us talking all over it, you'd be in exactly the same position.
Everything is also like disconnected. Like, say there's like, for example, about 30 scenes in the film. They just go to 30 different people and just said, write a scene, and then they just put
this is like Boomer and Clyde or whatever them assholes' names were, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Boomer and Clyde.
What were they called? There was something like that.
Bono and Clyde.
Bono and Clyde. I was close. Boomer's the dog.
Yeah. See, now I'm just imagining Bono from U2 and David Byrne doing the exact film that we described, but one of them is just really blunt about it. He's just like, yeah, I am Bono.
Bono already did that. He made iTunes give everyone his album for free, and people got pissed off and couldn't figure out how to get a free U2 album off their iPod.
Yeah, I remember that. That happened, I think, it was either New Year's Day or Christmas Day one year, and I was really pissed off because I don't like U2.
Everyone was pissed off that they got a free album, and you had to like find tutorials online to get rid of U2's album. So the movie, we made up this movie, and Bono's already done it. Goddamn Bono.
Would you believe that we're just about halfway through?
Well, I thought I felt my will to live slipping.
Oh.
At the end of the film, a title card just comes up saying intermission. End of Act 1.
Title card comes up. Welcome to your new life.
What was the source material for this film? Like, was it a novel? Was it a play?
It was, if I remember, it was the play Gaslight.
Like he said, it was just some guy that hated his neighbor, so wrote his neighbor as an asshole into a movie.
Pretty much.
That was the original name of the film. It was called Steven.
My neighbor's an asshole.
I was going to say My Asshole Next Door, but
I think that's the porn parody.
Oh no! I do not need to see Robodong.
This film doesn't need a porn parody. This film, it's kind of does that itself. It's his own parody.
We already had two dudes in drag, some chick rubbing a cast against herself. We already have enough porn elements in this movie.
Guys covered in
Right.
semi-naked Japanese men. It's a free-for-all. This film is all things and nothing.
Throw a couple tentacles in there and you get yourself a hit.
Now I know where I've seen this. Oh God, this scene is just so stressful. It upsets me in every single possible way.
Why do the kids like this fucking robot suddenly?
They're not. They're screaming, but they overdubbed it with children's laughter.
That was a real reaction, just pure terror, fear.
They're jumping up because they heated the floor up overnight using a few gas canisters.
Oh no! This kid, they're gonna kill these children! He's cooking Spam and Drano! And he just put a television in the microwave. He's going to blow up the house himself and the children.
He's putting a Saved by the Bell TV in the microwave.
She's actually desperately allergic to flour.
You know what? These in real
She
life,
just has celiacs and gets starts shitting herself.
It's like watching a firework go off on the 4th of July. She went through the roof and they never saw her again.
I kind of like how confused and irritated and bored some of the children look. Like I like imagining like in real life the director was like, okay, act wonderful, act like happy, and they always look really sad.
What is that face?
This looks like it was absolutely miserable to film.
Oh yeah.
Just throwing shit everywhere.
You know, they say that most art comes from suffering, Ben.
Well, there's that thing I showed you earlier. Apparently this film was a bit of a nightmare. They changed directors.
Apparently complete crap comes from suffering too, so.
Well, sometimes you just can't help people.
How do we go from wacky kitchen antics to this stuff?
You know, this film would make a lot more money if you put a robot in it.
Okay, I'm totally editing this to take out the robot.
You'd have a 4-minute film.
Yeah. Oh, she is having the right response again.
Oh, shit.
Kill it. Kill that thing. Murder it. Literally kill it.
I don't know about you guys, but this prequel to Westworld is really not my thing.
End its life.
I think the actor in the suit replaced that with a real knife, just in case she accidentally stabs him. Just hoping against hope. Please end it now.
Can you imagine being the poor guy in the suit coming home from work that night? You know, his wife sits there, honey, how was your day? Oh, you know, they put me in the suit again. They covered me in cereal. They had me put a television in the microwave, and then a woman stabbed me repeatedly.
He wouldn't be that jovial. He'd just look at her and just start crying endlessly.
There was Drano involved. If it was real, I would have drank it.
He'd say to her something like, you know, I used to work on the stock market. I used to make $25,000 a year, and now I'm covered in gold paint being shit on by little fucking kids.
And that was just the first day's training at McDonald's.
Oh.
So, this film was featured on Red Letter Media a few months ago now, and Mike Stoklasa, head honcho at Red Letter Media, described this film as a roller coaster ride into your own grave. And I'm struggling to disagree with him, really.
Yeah.
Oh, I put the robot in the box then.
Why would he want the robot?
Oh no, not Bono and Clyde! No!
We
Having,
love
like, an
those too.
like another robot, like an evil robot, but then he falls in love with the evil robot.
What would the anti-Goldigger look up?
Silver, obviously.
Oh, so would he be called Silver Digger?
This poor guy. Now they're pouring water up his ass and strangling him with a goddamn garden hose, as if his life wasn't bad enough.
So, honey, day 2 on filming. What did they do today? They waterboarded me.
They literally tortured my body for a film that no one in the world will ever see.
That I own probably the only copy of in the UK.
You spent real money for this, didn't you?
Yeah. Hell yeah. I saw 10 minutes of this and I was sold. I went and bought it there and then. I had the last copy on Amazon on video. It's never had a DVD release. It's not on Blu-ray. It's not available any other way other than X-Rental VHS. And I found the last copy of it on Amazon. It cost me £10. I spent £10, which is about $14 of my own money on this.
Is why your partner only wants to be with you 3 days out of the week?
No, that was because of the heavy drug use.
I don't remember if we recorded that part of the conversation or not.
That was one of the deleted excerpts from the comedy dining experience. After Dark.
After Dark. Why are children's films in the After Dark segment? Who knows? That's on you, everybody to figure out for themselves.
This film just seems right to fit in there.
Nothing seems right about this.
You know what? I swear to God, if I can find enough Christmas lights, I'm going as that robot for Halloween.
You'll be down to 2 days a week with your partner after that.
I just knock on the door. Hello, honey. I have come to take you to our Halloween party. I am going as the robot Goldigger from the film Robot in the Family.
That's the thing. You have to tell everyone where you are from because only you would know the origin of the costume. It'd be like when I dressed up as Spawn.
Oh, tell that story, Ben. I think you mentioned it on one of the earlier ones, but it's such a nice story. The Spawn story.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's not really a story. I just dressed up as Spawn for Halloween.
When you were a kid, though?
When I was like 10, yeah. Made the costume myself. No one fucking knew who I was, so I just got... Other kids got sweets and chocolate and other goodies, and I just got, a rock. a punch in the face. What are you? Get away from me. I'm calling the police now.
Hang on, has he got a ball?
And that was just my mother.
There's a movie on Showtime After Hours called Sexquestrian. And it stars Stormy Daniels, that porn star chick that banged Donald Trump.
Oh, God. I'm assuming that it either features sexy time with horses or some kind of My Little Pony crossover that shouldn't be real.
Let's see. Avery Montgomery, played by Stormy Daniels, makes the tough decision to return to Texas to save her estranged family's ranch and face her demons. Her sexy, sexy demons.
One of the quotes on the back just says, 9 out of 10 did bang D. Trump.
How did they even get the robot in the car?
I've lost my sense of time. Here's some snazzy... I don't want to call them shoes.
Oh, this bit is so stupid. I love it. This is the best part of the film, short of the intro.
Whoa. That robot's a racist.
Why can the mini robots talk?
I don't
That
know.
makes no sense. Why can they suddenly talk?
It turns out they've always been sentient, but Goldigger reawakened them.
They just didn't speak Japanese.
They were all American
Everyone in
speaking.
this film is everyone in this film.
They were the rare made-in-American product, and they happened to be with the guy from Taiwan, just confused as fuck.
Even the bootleg toy dealer on the street can somehow create life.
This is a scary universe to live in. I wouldn't want to live in this universe.
We're made to think that Joey Pants is this expert fucking inventor, but it turns out some random hoodlum on the street can make sentient robots that don't sound like Jerry Lewis.
That was the proposed sequel.
I was just about to say, why isn't the film about him? Why is it not his story?
It probably turned out like dolls and they just start killing people.
Taking us to Toyland. What?
Taking
you to your
oh
death.
God, comedy blind person.
Who the fuck is that?
That's nobody. He just turned up in the movie with the worst fake beard I've ever seen.
It's funny because one of his senses is impaired.
And there's Macaulay Culkin.
Are you sure that's not Bono or Clyde?
No, that's Eddie Furlong.
No, it's just some crazy blind dude.
Yeah.
He acts in that way that only muggers act in films.
Oh, fuck, he just killed a man.
Isn't this how the film Shocker starts?
Yeah.
That's teamwork.
Or wait, is Shocker the one that he's in an electric chair?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. There's another one called Ghost in the Machine where he gets a CAT scan and goes through the... Oh my God, he either cured or killed the blind guy.
So the robot's Jesus now.
Well, Adam Buxton's certainly looking a lot healthier.
There's this kind of sort of kids movie called Ghost in the Machine where a serial killer is in a car accident, goes into a CAT scan. Oh, this guy's going to get hit by a truck. Yep. Knew it. And he goes into the electricals of a house and like kills people using the dishwasher and shit.
I think I've heard of that one.
Yeah, Ghost in the... I think it's called Ghost in the Machine.
I'm kind of warming to the film now. It just doesn't give two solitary shits.
No, it does not give a fuck.
The last 5 minutes have been absolutely nonsensical.
In the best possible way.
In every way, shape, and form. What? See, before it was like really odd, surreal moments interspersed with this boring gold heist plot, and now it's just they've just full on given into.
Wait, can them robots fly now?
They certainly can. Why not?
How can they see over the hood? How did they get up on the hood?
Look at it murder him. Great.
I don't know what's going on anymore.
Puppet Master versus Demonic Toys versus Tiny Robots from Robot Goldigger.
Oh, those Robot Goldigger robots are going to kill everything.
Why are we going back to the boring auction? Go back to the nonsense.
I want to see the funny robot.
John Rice Davies has to notice that Joey Pants is there and be upset about it.
I want to see the funny robot get filled with cereal and water again.
And Joey Pants has to electrocute women accidentally and look up women's skirts by mistake.
That auction dealer is surprisingly nonplussed by the...
I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you why electrocution is so funny in this film. It's because the writers of the script saw Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. And you know the bit where Harry gets electrocuted and he turns into a skeleton?
Yeah.
Basically, the writer of the script saw that scene and went, it worked there, it'll work here. Let's do it 50 times. And that was it. That's the only motivation. I can't see any other reason why this film has so many live electrocutions in it.
But they couldn't even afford an actual skeleton, so they just kind of zip about a bit.
Yeah. Instead, they have the actors go, "Oh no, I am turning into a skeleton. The electricity is so strong."
The statue being stolen. Wait a minute.
I think this is where Donald Trump developed his weird goldfish.
Yes.
Did Goldigger just think that John Rice Davies is Saddam Hussein?
Yes,
or he's having a stroke?
It's like I said before, the robot is a horrible racist. If someone looks
He just sees curly hair and is like, well, it must be Iraqi. Look at the hair.
It's the 90s, clearly evil.
Make America great again.
Maca. No, I think they should actually have the Jerry Lewis voice. I think it should be, oh, I am going to vote for that Donald Trump man. I like the way his tie sits nicely on his person, and he wants to make sure the borders are...
Oh, the massage hands are causing him to crash.
Chekhov's massage hands.
Did you see what the massage hands are called? Did you see the name on the lever?
Oh, yeah, is it something like one?
My only friend.
Oh.
There's just a button on his car that says happy ending.
Friends give hands handies while they're driving.
It cuts to his sensor vision. He sees the crying girl. It zooms down. It cuts to her flashing between her and Saddam Hussein, and it just comes up kill.
How did this little girl's toy get so destroyed? Did we miss something?
No.
Go back to Russia.
How did she manage to smash the shit out of that little doggy or whatever the hell it is?
He's healing it because he's Jesus.
See, they did the clever thing of having the robot destroy the toy, and then they played the footage backwards. With some clever editing, you could make it look like he walked up to the girl, took the toy, destroyed it, and gave it to her, and she cried.
I like how you do it clever. Imagine you put air quotes around that.
With some really lazy, mediocre editing. Is that better?
Spot on. We'll have that.
Uh-oh. More trouble.
Oh, dear. I'm getting the vibe that the Fat Boys Wipeout should be playing at this point when something crazy happens.
I don't even need all this boring auction stuff. The whole film should have just been him wandering around getting into mistakes.
How did he know he won before he even turned the card over?
Because
he's a robot.
Bit precocious. Hang on, he didn't.
What does a robot buy with money?
He didn't know what a toaster did, but he understands monetary value.
He said he's programmed to play 200 games and game. It's just the middle card every time. This guy's got to switch his shit up.
He'd buy a soul. This is basically the Wizard of Oz. It's the Wizard of Oz and the Bible. They just looked at those two and said, let's do combined Lindsay in Home Alone 2.
You know, your film is good, but if you want to make more money, put a robot in it.
Yeah, I mean, I know I just said this, but genuinely, if the whole film had literally just been him wandering around, and we didn't have this boring, "You're a great dad" shit, then it would be genuinely good. I mean, it wouldn't be good, but it would be good.
It would just be a load of loose scenes.
I'm afraid to ask about how long is this movie?
We have got. I think it's something like 94 minutes long, and we have got 20 minutes left.
Oh, Jesus.
Just cut me out.
Although if you take the credits out, it's probably closer to about 15.
This is the extended edition. Right?
Promises.
We're going to watch the movie again afterwards.
This movie is way worse than Mac and Me, as Pepsi is a sponsor instead of Coke.
Yeah, that's true. I suppose it could have been worse. It could have been RC.
True. The kid's backpack is even Pepsi colors.
That's a wonderful image.
I like. I've got a oil painting of that scene. Oh, for a second, I thought he'd gone to the adult district. Oh, comedy racism.
This robot was basically designed by a far-right militia to just terrorize people who look very.
It was originally developed by r/incel.
I listened to a podcast about that. It was actually invented by a woman that was just didn't have time for dating.
Really?
Yeah, and then she found a date and abandoned the group and let it be its own thing. And 10 years later, she sees on the news that some incel killed like 15 people. And she's like, what the hell did I start?
Jeez. Can you imagine?
Yeah, she was in school and met, so she was an adult student. She was like 30 and met like another adult student that's like, yeah, I don't have time to date. She's like, me either. Let's start a support group for professionals that are too busy to date. And it turned in, it was, had some other name. Oh, it was Indicel. And then it went to Incel because it sounded too close to imbeciles. So,
Jeez.
So they changed the name. Yeah.
Can you imagine how bad you'd feel, though, if you started something really small, just being like, say, oh, I'm doing movie reviews, and then, like, 10 years from now, you ended up, like, creating Birth of a Nation?
Yeah. The podcast Reply All covered it, and they did they do best of in August and played it again.
Jeez.
Wait.
I thought it was going to say, like, unconventional conventionalists, but fair enough.
I thought a Superman and
I have now lost track of what this film is doing. I was paying attention, but now I'm lost. That's how quick you can lose focus, like 3 minutes.
You see, what happens you speed, it goes faster. They teach you that in day 3 of film school.
If you need a scene to go more quickly, just speed it up.
Because the film went, wow. What else?
Bono and Clyde are back. Everyone cheer.
God.
Yay!
Yay. Are they dressed as rabbis?
Yes. This ties in with the Make America Great Again theme.
Oh, God.
Why would they not be dressed as rabbis?
I don't know. I kind of preferred them as women.
To each their own. However you get your jellies is on you.
Can we go back to the robot making people's lives actively worse?
No.
Where is little minions?
That is a good question.
They killed themselves in a blood sacrifice.
To appease Goldigger. Every hour on the hour, they pulled one of the other robot's batteries out.
The guy dressed as a rabbi just said, I'm not a barbarian, I'm a Catholic.
Movie made my...
You're right. This movie is so much better if you're just talking and not paying attention. Because every piece of dialogue in this movie just makes you want to like face palm, and you're not supposed to touch your face during the quarantine.
The robot has somehow wandered his way back into the plot. I don't like this. I'm aimless wondering.
You said you wanted a robot bag. Here he comes.
You're having the robot whether you like it or not, Ben. That's the way it works.
This is what Michael did, the moon wore off, where he turns into a robot.
Yeah.
It was based on that. Jack looked at it and he thought to himself, I'm going to stop this.
I mean, I'm going to level with you guys. If John Rhys Davies ever does a Comic Con near me, I am getting signed my VHS copy of this film. And I will ask him questions.
You've probably been
the only con we have around here is like sad pro wrestlers from the 70s and like people that played a walker on one episode of Walking Dead.
That sounds like a really good Reddit. Sad wrestlers from the 70s.
Is that the name of the con, Sad Wrestler Con, or?
Basically, it's this guy Tommy Rich has a wrestling school in town, and he's fucking terrible. Or sorry, Tommy Wildfire Rich. Wow. You gotta give him his nickname.
I like that. You see, before I was just like, okay, Tommy, and then you went Wildfire. Now I'm like, who is this Wildfire guy?
In the con is always pictures of them from their prime. So you think you're seeing like this buff 20-year-old and you show up and he's 7 years old and crippled.
For some reason I thought you were going to say the pictures are just pictures of him from other cons looking sad. So you see him crying at a desk and then you go up to him and it's a picture of him crying at a desk from 2016.
If you take every year's sad picture and line them all up, it becomes a flip book of him slowly aging to death.
The big wrestling con was supposed to be this weekend, but thanks to Corona, they canceled everything, so there's no WrestleCon this year.
Jeez.
No WrestleMania, 70,000 people flying into town, all gone.
Yeah, I saw some news on that. Didn't they start doing wrestling matches where there was no audience?
Yeah, there hasn't been audience in 2-3 weeks, and WrestleMania, which is normally in front of 70, 80,000 people, is going to be in a gym in front of nobody.
Oh, God. That sounds so surreal.
And it's going to be 2 days and hosted by ex-professional football player Ron Gronkowski.
Now, are we talking UK football or are we talking US football?
American football. He plays for a team called the Patriots, which means 90% of Americans hate him because he plays for a team that cheats and wins all the time.
It sounds to me like the World Wrestling Federation have got their act together.
Yeah. It's like if they went to anywhere but Manchester and had someone from Man U be the main attraction.
Maybe we should send them a copy of this film. They could probably play it in between the sort of, the waiting for people to come on bits or the advertisements. Just play scenes.
Oh, they just play old matches. That's what they've been doing. Like last night was their flagship show, Monday Night Raw, and 90% of it was just old WrestleMania matches. They have like one live match and they just show recordings for the rest.
Oh, jeez. We're back at it again with the sex.
Oh, fuck. Dr. Ruth. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Do you guys have Dr. Ruth?
We had somebody called Jeremy Kyle, and we also had somebody called Trisha over here.
Well, Dr. Ruth was a sex expert, and she is a roughly 180-year-old Israeli woman that's like 4'10" and talks radio
or lack thereof.
I think you put
Yes.
it down sex expert.
Oh,
Yeah, she's a sexy, and she was a sniper for the Israeli army. Because if you're from Israel, you have to enlist in army. So she's like 4 foot tall, so she was a sniper, and then moved to America and became a sex expert. And she's been 80 years old since the 80s.
Jeez.
I
If you're
think I'd
talking
see
sex,
that.
I was going to say, if you're talking sex experts in the UK, we've got the loose women.
Sex experts.
They're basically 4 sort of women in their early 50s, maybe late 50s, who sit and talk about willies and bottoms and all manner of naughty bits. But because we're British, it's all very repressed. So it's all met with a very sort of, I don't know about you guys kind of thing.
They're not that
Well, she just talks about fucking all the time. It's creepy, and she has that little old lady voice you just heard. And just weird.
So just to bring people up to speed, they've both been tied up above molten gold and they're going to be dropped into it and set on fire. John Rhys Davies has just pushed the doctor who had a fetish for big heads and helmets into a big barrel of concrete. So he's definitely dead now. And he's about to lower the robot and the dad and the kid into molten gold. And the Goldigger robot is going bloody mental because he's detecting gold directly below him.
I love how all these movies of a certain generation or a certain sort of B-movie charm, they all end in warehouses.
Yeah.
Is it just because it's cheap?
Yeah, basically, it means they don't have to dress a set.
Yeah. It's like films that are always set in the woods.
Oh yeah, because gold is conductive. As soon as his feet touched the molten gold, he used it to electrocute John Rhys Davies and then drown him.
And somehow not electrocute the other people attached to the same metal.
Well, he's Jesus. He can do what he wants. Yes, robot.
I believe he's Robo Jesus, Ben. There's a difference.
The leader of Silicon Heaven. We all know him.
Father Collins lied to me.
That cop was so just now flustered. Although the cops are pulling guns like, have you guys ever seen a robot before? Blah.
Hello, Hello, my name is Sergeant Exposition. I'm here to end the film.
Can you imagine being an extra in this film? Like waking up every morning and going, I was in that film.
You could have played the pirate toy dealer.
You can, yeah, if you were just one of the like 50 people that Goldigger's walking behind in the oil painting you have there.
You go to job interviews, and I see you are listed as an extra for a film called Robot in the Family.
I don't see how that qualifies you to be an astrophysicist, but go ahead.
Well, let me tell you something. I've got 4 magnets up my nose. Oh, we did a callback.
You think they had any permits, or do you think they just, like Edward style, just took up with a giant robot on New York and just went off?
I just got a text being invited to a poker game, so I gotta see what the hell that is.
There's a the house now.
And they all lived. Just end there. And they all lived.
Goldigger. This film is so pent up.
Pent up.
Yeah, it's so it just wants to just get down to it.
So kinky. I feel like I'm going to be put on some kind of list for watching this.
We are all on the list now.
I was already on the list after watching some of them terrible children's movies I watched.
Well, there'll be plenty more to come. Depends on how long the quarantine lasts, in all fairness.
Hello.
The audio has drifted slightly. I can't tell whether it's because of the way I've captured it or whether it's just really bad ADR.
I don't think there's any point at this juncture to.
I think the movie's just trying to escape your VHS.
I did wonder why my VCR was screaming towards the last 10 minutes uncontrollably.
I've noticed my laptop fan getting progressively louder. It's not my shitty laptop, it's just the film itself.
It's reacting to Goldigger. It believes that its god has finally manifested inside it.
Making my computer scream. Oh dear. William Hartnell isn't happy. He does look like William Hartnell, doesn't he?
He does look like he does look like William Hartnell. He
This
looks
is William
like
Hartnell's last role.
He looks like William Hartnell and George Kennedy got stuck in like the fly machine.
That's the thing. That's the thing from the thing.
From the very beginning that has had little to no relevance throughout the rest of the film. And nobody knew it was in there. None of the characters knew it was in there.
Chekhov's weird, crappy helmet.
Man, this movie's a fucking trip.
Oh, you just killed Bill Hartnell.
That was pure asbestos there.
You just asphyxiated him. You just blew like 10,000-year-old dust on him.
Yeah.
This is how Corona started.
I wouldn't be worried about coronavirus if I had 10,000-year-old dust on me.
It's got all kinds of bacteria on it and shit.
She's finally had enough.
Oh, God.
$50 million, I can finally leave you!
Even if they divorce you, I'll get half of that.
Can I have the check made payable to cash, please?
Can I have it payable in gold? I wonder if you can do that, like if you win the national lottery. Could you have them pay it to you in gold bars directly to your house?
I imagine you could get it paid in whatever format you wanted. I'd personally go for it in doubloons, but
Straight from Fort Knox.
yes.
I'd do a Goldfinger style and melt it into a laser. Can't believe it's taken me this long in Goldfinger. Oh, that one's over there.
And that was Robot in the Family, aka a robot called Goldigger.
Steve Bull. More like Steve.
The robot just called the authorities and said he was Goldigger, and they thought he was a Goldigger and said, "You need to calm down, lady." What?
What lady sounds like Jerry Lewis?
I don't know. He said, "I'm not a lady. I'm a robot or something. I'm wearing the helmet." Roll credits.
Larry
What the hell?
The role of Man in Bathtub. Anthony the Septic Tank was played by Herschel Schwaber.
I mean, the theme tune is still pretty cool, but everything else.
T.P. Williams as newscaster.
I gotta figure out what's going on with this potential poker game. I'll talk to you guys in a little bit.
No trouble. We'll do a bit of a wrap up, and you can join us at the end if you want, sir.
Yeah, let me call this guy and figure out what the hell's going on. This is great content for the listening audience.
Oh yeah, no, it's fantastic.
Tell them about the great film we just watched.
So, what did you guys think of a robot called Goldigger? If you enjoyed the movie, oh God, leave us.
If you enjoyed the movie, seek the help of a psychiatrist.
Before you do, be sure to like and subscribe.
Jesus Christ.
Oh God.
I'm not sure we can be friends anymore, but other than that, it was fine.
You stayed with me after Lady Terminator. You'll be back.
Yeah, true.
I am about 95% convinced that none of these people are real.
This film had a special effects budget.
Did it?
There was also a nurse on set. You know? helped when the 4 actors who played Goldigger would die of dehydration every week.
They had an on-set effects technician and an effects assistant.
This movie had 7 editors. What the No, 10 editors. There's a second assistant. There's 10 fucking editors in this movie.
The producers would like to thank Woody Allen.
And Jerry Lewis.
Jeez. I reckon at least 5 of those editors are currently still in an asylum somewhere.
No animals were harmed in the making of the film.
Apart from that cat we killed.
Except for the human.
And all those rats.
This film is dedicated to all the actors who died portraying Goldigger, who we had to replace every week.
Gone but not forgotten. Ben, what did you think of a robot called Goldigger?
I liked the bit where the plot was literally just robot walks around the city making people's lives actively worse. I always hated it when it but then it always cut back to the boring John Rhys Davis in an auction house or the shitty gold dealer, and it was just like, no, the whole film should have just been a plotless 90-minute excursion of just a robot walking around New York.
You know what?
I wish it would have been happy with that.
It would have made a really, really nice short film of a guy makes a run, it wanders around New York having adventure.
Hey, good news, guys. My left arm's just gone numb. That means I might have a heart attack.
Fantastic. Can you imagine this being your last film?
I've been sat on it. I was so engrossed in the film that I didn't realise I was sat on my arm.
Seriously, can you imagine? You have seen the heights of cinema. You have seen 3D films. You have seen the works of Kubrick, David Lynch. You have seen the works of Bruce Robinson. You have seen, Romero. And the film you go out on was a 1993 action-adventure film that had a robot forced into it.
I will speak to you soon, and tell Raymond I said bye-bye as well.
No trouble at all. I'll wrap things up with itself, and then we'll close everything down. But you take care, man. Oh, before you go,
I'm gonna go apologise to my partner now, who said I was being too late. So. but it's all in the name of it's your fault, Dan. So when she said that, I'm just going to blame it all on you.
He's gone. So Ray, what did you make of Robot in the Family?
Why make that a kid's film? Why have any of that stuff in there?
It's great value for money.
I mean, it wouldn't have been good if it was just the 2 guys yelling at each other about a statue either. But it wouldn't have been just mind-numbingly brutal like it is now.
I think you got the nail on the head. I mean, I found there were bits that I liked, but only in a so bad it's good way. I did really like the theme tune, though. That's the only thing that I can really genuinely say I actually really liked.
Better or worse version of Goldigger than Kanye's.
Absolutely. So on that note, I would like to thank everybody who has been tuning in and listening today. You can see more of Raymond's stuff over on his channel. I'll put a link in the description of this video. Raymond, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been absolutely lovely, and we'll have to do it again sometime.
All right, man. I'll talk to you as soon as you hit end recording.
Not a problem at all. So, to everybody, take care, have a good one, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey.